Welcome FMCG TV viewers. Today we once again have Mr. R Kannan. We are going to discuss about a personality who is considered even higher than Albert Einstein today. Welcome Mr. Kannan.
Thank you, Ganesh. It's a pleasure seeing you and speaking to our viewers. I'm not so sure that Elon Musk happens to be considered more than Einstein. He's been compared to a number of geniuses, indeed. He's also been compared to P.T. Barnum. If you remember, P.T. Barnum is a 19th century circus man who ran a circus, who employed trickery and was also considered a con artist. He was not a person of much integrity according to people. So he's considered a P.T. Barnum. He's considered a mad genius. He's considered an edgelord. An edgelord is somebody who, it's a word that has come into usage.
Edgelord.
Edgelord. Edge, L-O-R-D.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Okay.
Edgelord. People who record a post very provocative, very serious comments one way or the other to shake their audience or controversial, very controversial posts. And Elon Musk is known for that. He's considered as an Andrew Carnegie, a philanthropist, a man who made his money in steel. So Musk considers that the birth rates are falling generally, and he encourages people to have more children. And he makes small contributions towards this cause. He himself has 14 children.
14?
14 children. He's been married thrice to 2 women. His first wife is his college mate, Justine Musk or Justine Miller. He loved her, and his first 6 children, who are in their teenagers at the moment, 5 of them are alive. One child, the first child, passed away, are from this marriage with Justin Miller.
Okay.
And when he was dancing on the floor with Justin Miller, he told her, I'm the alpha in this relationship. You know what an alpha male is?
Yes.
An alpha male is the dominant partner.
Yes.
An alpha happens to be the first letter of the Greek alphabets. So it is the primordial, it is the principal, it is the chief. So in a relationship where you and I would have been very passionate and loving, I'm sure he was all that, but he told while they were dancing on the dance floor, I'm the alpha in this relationship, to Justin Miller, with whom he had 6 children, 5 of them alive,
Okay.
and have reached teenage. Afterwards, Justine tells us that his attention span was very limited to the family. So he moved away to his businesses, to his enterprise, to his ambition. So
Mostly this happens to most inventors, scientists or big people. Their focus,
people like that.
they don't allow their focus to be disturbed by family life because they suddenly start concentrating too much on their work.
Look, Karl Marx was married, and he had 7 children. His wife, Jenny, was the quintessential wife. I think except for 1 child, all the other 6 survived. Although she came from a sort of an aristocratic family, they lived in penury. They lived out of handouts and help. And then she constantly fended off debtors of Marx. So Marx doesn't get very high marks as a husband. He was not a great provider. He spent 20 plus years writing his Das Kapital.
Oh.
Okay. In fact, some people think he spent 30 years. So I personally think people who are ambitious, people who want to serve humanity, people who want to be in public life and want to carve out a name for themselves or want to go down in history.
And those people always think, what next? Absolutely. I have done this, what next?
Absolutely.
They set their own benchmark.
And Musk is absolutely that sort of a man, because as a child, even as a child when he was 3 years old, his mother, Mae Musk, who used to be a model, she tells of him, she used to call him genius boy.
Oh,
So he was a genius in the
something she
making.
found at the
Yes,
age of
this
3.
was a very, very different child, a very precocious child. And then he has a younger brother called Kimball Musk, 1 year younger to him. So Musk's maternal grandfather moved from Canada to South Africa to, to enrich his life, to make a living.
Living. Okay.
And Errol Musk is the father of our friend Elon Musk. And the pair, Errol Musk and Mae
Mae
Musk, were
Musk.
divorced when Musk was 8 years old.
Okay.
So the children were separated from the mother. Errol Musk got custody of the children, and the children lived with a very difficult father. The father is not an ordinary man. They don't talk to each other. Musk is not in speaking terms with his father, and his biographer says the only time Musk's hands shook and his body was shaking was when he had to meet with his father. So Musk still has, I think, a lot of
Memories of his
of his childhood, which may have not been very pleasant. So his father has said that once 3 robbers broke into his house and he shot them dead. That is Errol Musk.
Oh.
So he's not an ordinary man. So when he was 17, our friend Elon Musk leaves South Africa because he wants to avoid conscription. He wants to avoid
Working for the military service.
Absolutely. So he takes the reverse route. His grandpa moved from Canada to South Africa. He now does it reverse.
From here to Canada.
From South Africa from Pretoria to Canada. He goes to Canada and he joins Queen's University for some time, where he studies physics and economics. This is for his bachelor's degree. And when he leaves when he was 17 years old. And
so he decides on his own to do such things.
The circumstances are not clear to me. We'll have to read more to find out why he left to avoid a draft. Okay. That much we know. Did he also leave to avoid his father? That could also be a case. But how was
he took his brother too with him?
I think so. How was his education financed? We don't know that. I don't know that. Okay. So from there he transfers to University of Pennsylvania, UPenn. It's a very, very prestigious university. There are 8 very prestigious universities. They're called Ivy League universities. You know them. Harvard, Columbia, Yale, Brown, Cornell, Dartmouth, Princeton, UPenn.
Okay.
These are the 8 universities. These are the oldest universities in the United States. And they're all along the East Coast.
Okay.
So he transfers there and then he graduates from UPenn with an economics and a physics degree. But his heart was in physics. So he then gets admitted to Stanford University on the West Coast. So he gets admitted as a PhD candidate. But he stays there only for 2 days. He and his brother decide to ride the internet zeitgeist. They want to ride the internet wave. It is in the early 1990s. Okay. Now, this, I told you, his mother used to call him a genius boy. So at around 12 years old, he writes a code for a video game called Blastar.
At 12?
At 12. He sells it to an internet magazine for $500 when he was 12 years old.
Oh, he started his first success.
Story begins when he was 12. So this was a whiz kid. This was seriously a blue-eyed boy, person very different from other children. So he quits Stanford, a PhD in physics, comes over. So that way he's very different from Einstein.
Okay.
So he moves away from there, and he and his brother look around, and then they get a business directory, a disk containing the addresses and the details of all the businesses in the United States. He moves to the United States because Stanford is there. Okay. So then he goes to an online mapping company and asks them to lend their software for free. They lend it for free.
To this kid?
To this kid. He's probably about 20 years old, 22, 21 years old. And he merges both and he says, so he creates Zip2, a program which he sells to local newspapers, including New York Times. So if you go into the net and if you want to see the next pizza parlor, like this morning you ordered coffee from a nearby coffee house, and then you knew where it was, your internet showed you this. And it will also show you directions to reach there. So he said, people should be able to go to the nearest pizza parlor or the pizza parlor of their choice, and they should also know how to get there. So he used GPS, he mapped, he merged the business directory with the online mapping service. So the first mapping software
Was
to
created by him.
show by Zip2. And this he sells to all the
20
newspapers.
years, 20 or
He's
22.
in his early 20s perhaps. Okay, and this Compaq computer firm, Compaq, buys it from him for $307 million.
Oh.
They have a search engine called Alta Vista.
Ah.
You might have heard about Alta Vista.
No.
Okay, so Compaq's Alta Vista has now local density. So it has every local area is mapped, every local business is mapped, and you need to just Google or you need to go online to find out. So he sells that. He's not happy. You and I, if we had sold, he makes $22 million out of it. If you and I had made that kind of money, we would have said, let's retire on a Caribbean island,
Yes.
right? No, he's not. That's, as you rightly said, he's a very ambitious man. He doesn't give up. So he then moves on to his mother says, I asked him to choose solar. I asked him to choose cars, automobiles. I asked him to choose rockets. I asked him to choose only one. He didn't listen to me. He chose all three.
All three.
So the next, after Zip2, the next thing that our friend enters is something even more profound. He is trying to bring or conceive a way where I can pay you using my phone. Phone Pay,
Like what we do today.
GPay. This is 30 years ago, in the early 90s. Okay. He is the founder of what later became PayPal.
Oh, okay.
All right. PayPal, you know how much he sells it to eBay? He sells it for $1.5 billion.
At what age?
He's probably in his mid 20s
20,
in 1999
24,
or something like
23.
that. He's born in 1971. So he's probably in his mid 20s or late 20s. He makes $180 million
$180 million.
from a deal that he had sold for $1.5 billion. That is in Indian rupees, if I were to translate this, it is almost 135 lakh crore.
Amazing.
1 billion is 90,000.
90,000. Today's value.
Yeah, crore. So this is that many crores, 1.5 billion. So 135,000
At that age.
crores at that age. And after that, so this is taking him a few years for him to do this. And he says, if they had only followed what I conceived originally, banks would have gone out of business. There would be no need for banks. He says this in 2002.
2002.
He says this in looking back after all this sale. Then he branches off into now his sights are set on rockets. He's a rocket kid. So he thinks that rockets can be made cheaper. After 1972, Americans didn't send rockets to the moon because there was no use to send, because the moon is inhabitable. There is no water there. There is no air. So the moon is not a place for human habitation. So after the initial Apollo missions. And then after space exploration, etc., after they came up with a space lab, they stopped sending missions to Apollo. So he looks at it. He wants to now come up with rockets which will be very cheap, not to be sent to the moon, but to
distant
Mars,
planets.
To Mars.
Mars.
Okay. So he says he wants to do this. And simultaneously, if you are involved in a project of this gargantuan size, this ambition, you will not be concentrating on other things. But this man is simultaneously concentrating on electric-driven cars.
Yes.
Electric cars. So he calls it Tesla. How does he come to this? Firstly, let's go back to the rockets. So there's a world traveler engineer. He's got a lot of books on rocketry, rocket science. He borrows all these books. He studies it from him. Then he takes Jim Cantrell and Mike Morrison, who later serves the George Bush administrator of NASA and later serves as the Deputy Secretary for Defense in the US administrations. He takes them both to Russia. Now, it's no more the Soviet Union. He wants to buy a used intercontinental ballistic missile to turn it into a rocket. So he goes there, he makes several trips back and forth to see. And then he realizes that the Russians are cheating him. The Russians are not playing fair. And he comes to the conclusion that we shouldn't be buying this from them. So the three of them are returning. And while they are in the aircraft, the two, Jim Cantrell and Mike Morrison, make the comment, what is our mad boy, Wiskid, a mad boy, planning to do now? Okay, how is he going to? So this is said in the presence of Musk sitting behind them in the coach, in the aircraft. And this is said in his hearing distance, and everybody could hear this. Musk had gone away separately and he's got a piece of paper and he has been working on it for some time. So he comes back after this comment and shows it to both these people, Jim and Mike, look at this. And the entire rocket is designed. It is designed from A to Z. He had figured it out. That is how Falcon, the first rocket, came up. Falcon, the first launch was a failure. The second launch was a failure. The third launch was a failure. You and I might have given up. The fourth launch happened. It became...
Who financed all these things for him?
He managed
NASA?
to... No, not yet. NASA, I think he may have won an award for NASA, from NASA initially for Falcon, but it was only after the successful launch that NASA then completely came to rely on him. So the current version is Dragon, which takes, which can carry 53,000 kilogram of load. You see, so these aircraft, these rockets have to be very big. They have to spend less fuel. They shouldn't weigh a lot. They should carry a lot. All the specification, because his idea is to send mankind to Mars. He wants to colonize Mars because he thinks this planet will one day, if we can't save this planet, there should be another planet for us to inhabit. So this is a man who dreams of Mars. And how long does he think this will take? 5 years. He makes some calculations and he says in 5 years' time,
he can do
there will be aircraft, there will be rockets carrying 100 people at any given time. So it will have to carry the infrastructure. If you're going to build something, people are wondering, what will people do in Mars? What sort of an economy will it have? What sort of life will they have? That's a different story.
But at least have all the
he dreams big. He dreams big, right? So Falcon 9 is the next one.
Before this initial success, many told he's a lunatic.
Some of his actions are very, you will see that he's a heartless man. You will, as we grow further, you will notice that. So then he comes up with Falcon 9. After Falcon 9, then he comes up with the Dragon, which is what he said he will decommission when he had a run-in with President Trump. Exactly. So it was only in 2022 that NASA actually awarded him a $2.9 billion contract. And his competitor was Jeff Bezos, Amazon, because he also has a space agency. He also...
But on his own, he is not a scientist. Jeff Bezos. He has earned money
Bezos
to spend
is a venture capitalist.
Venture capitalist.
He owns the Washington Post.
Whereas this guy is himself...
he himself is trained and he's a self-taught sort of prodigy. So he bids for 2.9. Jeff Bezos' bid is probably twice that much. And finally, Jeff Bezos fails. The award comes to Musk. Jeff Bezos goes to court, challenging
I bid the most, why you have not given me?
No, but his bid is high. So NASA would have to shell out a lot more money. So he's not building it for free or he's not building it at a low price. So then Musk writes on his Twitter, I think by then it has become X, he says, if lobbying could get you to orbit, then Jeff Bezos would have been in Pluto. Lobbying will not get you anywhere. It is science that will get you
Musk
somewhere.
told it so
Yes.
clearly.
So Musk is now trying to do two things. He's trying to make these missions to the space, or to all these space missions, very affordable, a third of the costs it would take. Secondly, rockets are never reused. They're usually sunk into the ocean. He wants to reuse them, and it's a pretty arduous task to reassemble them, to make them. It's like single-use plastic. You can't use them again. So this is how NASA was doing all this while. So he has come and he's done about 100 missions so far for both NASA and I don't know for whom. 72 of those missions are recycled, reusable rockets.
So the concept of reusable concept and reducing the cost of rocket,
Absolutely.
economics, yes.
he's
So
done
his mind is always working on the economics portion of whatever he does.
But true, but it's not that he's an economic genius or anything. For instance, Tesla, which he started. Now, Tesla, he came about, there was a Stanford professor called J.B. Straubel. Straubel always said that with the advances in science, if he has a lithium-ion battery, the battery size will be so small that the car doesn't have to expend a lot of energy on carrying the battery around. Okay. Earlier, the battery sizes were very big.
Yes.
So the car would spend a lot of energy just carrying its own weight. But that's not what we want. So he said with lithium-ion, with those batteries, he could actually shrink the size of the battery
generate
and
more.
the weight, generate more power, and then the car can go further with one charge.
Okay.
But nobody wanted to invest. Musk trusted him. Musk invested in his plan. That is how Tesla came about.
Oh, the original idea is from Straubel.
J.B. Straubel.
Okay.
J.B. Straubel, a Stanford professor. So they worked for several years, but Tesla was 2 years behind schedule. And it needed an infusion of funds from the federal government. $400 plus million was given by the federal government. And at one point of time, Musk raised $60,000 from individuals, from hundreds of such individuals. And yet, he wasn't sure when it would come out. And finally,
he could
it
not
came
give
out.
a date.
Yes, it was 2 years behind schedule. And it came out, and it has been a success so far because of the subsidies that the American government provides. Similarly with BYD, with the Chinese, they have, I think they have another company called NIO. These two major companies, when it comes to electric cars, they are also greatly subsidized and supported by the Chinese government. So to be in this business, you need a lot of patience, you need a lot of money, and you need a lot of support. Environment-friendly stuff, for them to become economically very viable, it'll take some more time. So now the subsidies have been removed.
A small clarification from you. This Chinese BYD, all the stuff, they copied Elon Musk, or they also invented on their own?
They invented.
They did not copy.
This was
because generally it is always told that Chinese are
the Chinese
copying.
The Chinese, but the Chinese have also come up with their own stuff.
Inventions.
Like for instance, their Huawei 5G technology.
Yes,
they were the pioneers in
Huawei.
5G technology. So yes, that might have been an earlier attempt, the way they saw, because the Japanese were good copycats. They made very economic. Yes, they were very good copycats. They made
Japanese,
yes. And because, I mean, originally the Japanese made fuel efficient cars. That's how they came into being. And then they became technological and technology and electronics leaders. We spoke about this last time. And Sony, Akai, Sanyo, Panasonic, etc., etc. But the Koreans have outdone them. And then the last 3 decades are called as the stagnated decades in Japan. We'll talk about it later. So going back, so Tesla doesn't show up on time. Now there is a very user-friendly or a very purse-friendly, wallet-friendly model that he's trying to introduce. So Tesla sold last year alone 800,000 cars. Now the carbon emissions of the 800,000 cars that have been saved, that had been reduced, is equivalent to the amount of carbon emissions that Finland does in 1 year.
Oh.
So there is an environmental dividend
Impact also dividend, yeah.
on all, but the battery itself, the way the battery is mined, the lithium is mined, is an environmental hazard, and we still don't know how to dispose of these batteries.
Okay.
So maybe with time, science will tell us how to do it. So although there is an environmental benefit, there is an environmental degradation to start with before we reach this place. We have to talk more about it.
Yeah. And lithium, there is a talk that African countries that are poor, children are used to mine.
Absolutely, because there are no serious labor standards in those countries. They want to keep their costs low. So, in places like the Democratic Republic of Congo, where I think these are found, these labor practices do not meet international standards. This is what people say. There's a recent book that talks about all this. So, it's a huge environmental menace at one level. But this is where we are heading, but I need to speak about this.
Nice, Kannan. In this episode, we have started on Elon Musk, and we will continue with a few more episodes and know the person entirely that are useful to us.
Sure.
Thank you.